We're gonna start with Jason.
Yeah.
He said, "My company is a kind of worker company." When you were describing your job, right?
Mhm.
So, worker company. I guess you were talking about like why it wasn't necessary to study English in your company. So, perhaps my company is a kind of um, maybe a local company. Because if you were saying like it's or a domestic company,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe a domestic company will work better.
Domestic. company.
Domestic,
Domestic.
yeah, domestic company, yeah. And then you said probably I can work with them more easily or more efficiently. So if you study English, you can probably work with other clients more easily or more efficiently. You can actually combine both of those and just say more smoothly,
Mhm.
or have a smoother uh, have a smoother I guess experience with them.
Okay.
And then you said, I got a chance to ask that direction to someone when you were talking about you were asking the phone English people about the elections. So I gotta doesn't really work because it's actually had a chance. Yeah, I had a chance to ask instead of that direction. That I had a chance to ask about that process. Yeah, that process.
Okay.
And then you said, he's my best.
Mhm.
He's my favorite.
It is my
Mhm.
favorite.
Yugyong, I like the healing books. Usually we refer to those as self-help or motivational. Self-help or motivational books, yeah. And then because the before that I never been the abroad, uh, be, because before that I had never been abroad. Okay, so because I've never been abroad before, or because previously I hadn't been abroad, those will work. It was just your tense was a little bit mixed up. So because before that I had never been abroad, I had never had the chance to go abroad. It was my first time. Because previously I had never traveled abroad or lived abroad. And then you said, you were talking about that situation. You said, I need to live by myself. I had to stay by myself, or I had to live by myself, or I was living alone. Nari? One of my friends get married next year, March. One of my friends is getting married in March of next year. Yeah. One of my friends is getting married in March of next year. And then you said, I was impressed for all history. I was impressed by the complete history, or the complete history left an impression on me. I saved all money for 10 months. I saved all of my money. I guess you could say I saved all of my money for 10 months. Or you can just say, I. Yeah, you can say for 10 months, I was penny pinching. Do you guys know that word? Penny pinching is like an expression for basically you are trying to save everything. Penny, like a coin. Penny pinching is what we call it. Sojong? Was it Sojong or Nutty? As far as I heard, who said as I heard? Maybe it was Nutty? Sorry. As I heard. A lot of times I hear this here in Korea, it gets kind of overused. As I heard, as I know. It's not a very common thing to say, but you can say as far as I'm aware. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, meaning like as far as I know. Or you can also say as far as I know. As far as I'm aware, or as far as I know. Yeah, those are more common to say. A lot of people say "as I know," "as I heard," and it's actually not. That's actually not how we say it. So, as far as I'm aware, or as far as I know. Sojong, I actually make a book for a month before. I actually. Were you talking about reading a book before? A month before? I was a little confused. No, making it like you were making a book.
What? Did you say she booked the class for the?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, I booked the class a month ago. Or you can say I booked the class a month ago, or I signed up for the class a month ago. Yeah. And then you said it happens many other places, such as, and you were talking about, I think you were talking about the Nobel Prize. And you can also say it occurs. Occurred. OCCURED. Occurred. Yeah. And then you said in my memory, which we don't really say in my memory, as I recall. Yeah, as I recall. Yeah, as I recall. And then you said he's very criticized of social problem. He openly criticizes social problems. Yeah, he openly criticizes social problems. For someone that openly criticizes something, they are not afraid to speak their opinion. Yeah. Last Bora, I will just mention about 2 winners because I don't know about the others. I will, yeah, I'll just share. Instead of like the 2 winners, like I'll just share about 2 of them because you don't have to be that specific about it since we already know that they're the winners. So since we know the subject that they're the winners, you don't have to mention it again and again. So I'll just share about a couple of the winners because I'm not familiar with the other ones. So I'll just share about a couple of them because I'm not familiar with the others. Now they're considering out of Europe. Now other countries are considering exiting, and I had to correct this, the EU, because they're still Europe by geography. So they're considering exiting the EU, yeah. And last, it's been a few decades that we got our education. So you had this almost correct. It's only been, so you said it's been a few, but it should be it's only been a few. Yeah, it's only been a few, meaning like not that much. If you say it's been a few, then it sounds like it's a long time. So it's only been a few decades that we received formal education. Formal education referring to college, university.